So when you actually became an agency and when you launched as a limited company,
Yeah.
what was the first customer that you then got once you moved into that space that wasn't already like a kind of a client?
Um, so, okay, to get started, it was very much all your local, it was friends of friends and the local businesses. I went old school with how I got there. I went leaflet dropping, putting leaflets through doors of all of the local town. So I did a lot of that. Obviously run some own very localized Google ads. I optimized my own website pretty well. I also put a few feelers out, and I was creating really, really good content. And I had a few connections in the industry. So I had a couple of well-known names in the industry, um, that were referring, but particularly in America, that were referring business to me. So some of my first clients, weirdly, some of my biggest early clients were based in the States and based in Canada. And I started to work on them because I just got referred, and they have much bigger budgets. I was like a one-man band, with retainers worth thousands of pounds or thousands of dollars every month, and it was quite surreal. So I started doing that. And then it just, you get referred to another and to another and to another, and it sort of snowballed from there. And I set myself year one, I set myself a very modest target. I said, if I can match my previous salary as a freelance consultant in year one, I'd be delighted, and managed to do that. And then year two was if I could double it, and then year three was double it again, and then the journey began.
Do you do any leaflet dropping now? I just want looking back at I don't know if it worked. Did it work?
It did work. It did work, and we kind of do, yeah. So we've got. I haven't got one with me, but we've got a. We do. I do love lumpy mail, physical mail outs. I do love that. Even though we're a digital agency, I think it's a way of getting noticed. And so we did only in the start of this year. So start of 24, we put together a newspaper. So it's about 14, 16 page newspaper, all designed. Luckily, we've got a creative director here, who's my wife as well. And she is amazing. She's a graphic designer. So she put this amazing thing. We just filled it full of news stories and tips and tricks and information that will help our target customer to grow online, improve their digital marketing. So it's basically a 16-page magazine, but but printed so it looks and feels and even smells like a newspaper. And we sent that through the post to all of our target brands. So we did that last year. We sent out Christmas baubles to everyone. We ran a Christmas campaign and we sent baubles out to all of our thing with a QR code on it. So yeah, we try and be creative.
Love that, love that. Well, I'm a little bit in the swag market as well, so we do some branded gifts that we send out to potential clients effectively, and
Yes, yeah,
I think it works. It's different, isn't it? It's very easy to send an email and very easy
yeah,
to make a phone call, but not
yes,
often
yeah,
people get to sit down and they go, oh, this company's just sent me a newspaper. That
yeah,
is
yeah.
very, very a very good idea. Going back to, obviously you're getting more clients, you're growing the agency. Who was your first employee that you took on, and why did you take them on?
Yeah, again, this is so checkered history, and I'm very honest, by the way. So I'll tell you, I'll give you a warts and all account of the story. There's no sugarcoating with me. So first 3 years. Year one was let's by myself. I had a couple of part-time sort of freelancers that were supporting with some writing, but principally it was just me. Year two was just me. Year three was just me. Year three into year four, I thought, right, I know how to run this. I know how to turn this freelancing business into a proper business. We'd passed the VAT threshold. I was like, right, let's go. And I recruited a couple of people. Rented a little office on a couple of year lease. It was only it was sort of like the size of a cupboard. But hired released a little office, hired a couple of people, and made a real hash of the whole thing, to be honest, because I'd massively underestimated what it took to run a business, what it took to go to actually have people to look after, because I was bootstrapped as a business, so no funding. I didn't want to get funding. I didn't want to borrow any money. I've never have. I'm very we'll grow organic or we won't grow. And I did that. And what I'd underestimated at that time was I'd need to bring in a couple of juniors because I didn't have the money to bring in senior people. But what I underestimated is, okay, those junior people are going to need to be trained up. In the first 3 or 4 months, they're not going to be very productive because I've got to train them up. So I've got training which is going to take my time. I've also got to obviously do all the delivery of all the work because obviously I've not got anyone else that can help me. And I've also got to go out and now get more business in because I've got to pay for two team members, staff. So those things combined meant very quickly I sort of was like 3 months in, I was like, okay, wow, I've got a financial hole that I've got to fill. Haven't got enough hours in the day. Two people wanting to be trained, plus I've got to do all the work, and it just very quickly imploded. And so to the point where within 6 months, I'd gone from having two staff and a little office, back I'd gone full circle. So I let both staff go, and then retreated back to the safety of my working from my bedroom. And that all happened within about 8 months. That was 2016. And it was hard. It then took another 18 months from that point for me to rebuild the confidence that in 2018 I went again. And that 2018, that was when I found George and Naomi, who were the first two into the agency. George came in with loads of experience, Naomi with no experience, but having someone there with experience enabled us to better handle that transition to, okay, we can do the work, we can train, and we can go and get new business.
I mean, what a couple of years that must have been. I mean, I completely feel you were where you were at. It is. You're trying to grow the business, but you still got to deliver to those clients. You've now become a mentor as well as a trainer.
Yeah.
You've got everything to worry about, from payroll to one-to-ones and people having holiday.
Yep.
It is the toughest part of a business, I think, is getting that second to third employee, because all of a sudden you're a company and you've got to look after people that aren't yourself. And obviously doing it the way you've done it, what you learned from that first time is obviously the reason that this time it's been, I imagine, easier. From 2018 we're talking?
I mean, the last 6 years have been, yes, took a lot of those learnings, much better for it. I mean, we've built a much bigger business now. We're 3-4 times the turnover that we were, back in 2018. So yeah, much better for it. Doesn't mean it's been plain sailing. We've still had many bumps in the road, but it's, I think you're better for. It's funny, isn't it, when you go through business, and we're still living and breathing it now, is you go through these experiences and you can feel like at the time, okay, I'm getting kicked and getting beat down, but there's always some good that comes of it. There's always opportunities that come out, and you always are better for those experiences. I think lived experiences count for so much in business, even if you can't see it at the time.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm one of those people that I love to fail in a way, as in, like, I love to try something and it doesn't work, because I know that I've learned a hell of a lot along the way.
Absolutely.
And I think the next time then you go again, you can take all those learnings, and not that it's easier, but you just have that experience and also that stress level, because I think that's one of the side of things that isn't talked about a lot, is the stress level that comes from change. And also, if you're not used to it, you've never been in that situation before. Once you've experienced it, the next time you're in that situation, it's not as stressful, because you've been through it, you've got through it before, you can do it again.